Happy Sunday to you. A live look outside over the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels. Hope you've had an incredible weekend so far. Hey, if you came out to the Parade of Lights last night, thank you so much for joining us. That was a blast. I'm Lawrence Kafidi. Let's send things over to Weather Impact Team meteorologist Carly Cassidy. Carly, we're in for a breezy day that'll end up cooling things down later.
Yep, the big change that's coming really for today and then into tomorrow. That's when you're going to feel the biggest difference. But the wind, as you're talking about, you're going to start to feel that today. You can see a little shake here to the camera. Nothing too crazy just yet, but up in the foothills today, we can see some of those gusts 20 to 50 miles per hour. So just keep that in mind if you're headed out. The second change you're going to see, and already do, over Lookout Mountain, some of those clouds rolling in. Still have blue skies, sunshine peeking through, so not completely cloudy by any means. We'll just have those clouds starting to move in. As you're headed out this morning, nice and mild across the metro, 41 degrees. Not going to be the case tomorrow, though. 11 degrees in Eagle, 28 in Grand Junction. Not a bad start and not a bad afternoon. It's a lot like how we have been. Still one more mild, warm day before we really start to switch things up. So get outside, enjoy some of that sunshine, but the wind, that's working its way here and bringing the cold air. So tomorrow, 38 degrees. We're at 41 this morning. Tomorrow, we're not even going to get there. So it's going to be quite a change here. We're seeing 20 in Leadville for the afternoon, so about 20 to 40. That's about it. Now, coming with this, we also have some snow, but it's a little bit on the lower impact, but we'll talk about the timing totals coming up in my full forecast.
Carly, thank you so much. New this morning, deputies in Arapahoe County are looking for a man they believe tried to kidnap a child last night. They say the attempt happened off of East Yale Avenue, just south of Iliff. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office says deputies responded around 9:45 p.m. Deputies say the suspect is a heavy-set man with curly hair. He was wearing a Mickey Mouse hoodie and a black ski mask. The Sheriff's Office says he drove away in a black SUV with a black Colorado license plate. The word watermelon is spelled out in pink on the back. Toy Story characters Woody and Slinky are under the right taillight. If you recognize the suspect or the car he drove, you're asked to call the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen. Right now, a man is in the hospital after he was hit by RTD's A-Line train early this morning. This happened near East 42nd and North Clayton Street. That's just a few blocks from the 40th and Colorado station. Denver police say they got the call just before 1 a.m. Police tell us the man was riding a scooter when the train hit him. We don't know how he's doing this morning, only that he was seriously hurt. DPD says to expect delays on the roads around the crash and to the A-Line. The fallout surrounding Democratic State Senator Sonia Jaquez Lewis is escalating. Democratic State Senate leadership says that they would support a request for an ethics committee to investigate her mistreatment allegations. Now, they're also taking away her power in the state Senate. Her ability to hire state-paid legislative aides was taken away after accusations that she mistreated her staff. The senator from Longmont was stripped of her ability to serve on a Senate committee for the coming session as the investigations into how she treats her staff begin. A guild representing the legislative aides has called for her to resign. While we still don't know the exact accusations, the Colorado Sun has reported that former aides complained she made them do chores like yard work and bartending at her home. Another report from the Colorado Public Radio says that she withheld pay from her aides. No word yet from Jaquez Lewis on how she plans to respond. The search for the man suspected of shooting and killing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson has expanded to the state of Georgia. Police searched the backpack they believed was the shooter's. They found it in Central Park on Friday. Authorities say they found Monopoly money inside it. A source familiar with the investigation told NBC News there was not a gun inside. Police say the suspected shooter may have left New York City by bus. UnitedHealthcare is beefing up security at its headquarters in Minnesota. There's a heavy police presence around the campus, and crews have installed fencing around the perimeter. New York police have offered a $10,000 reward for any information that could help catch the suspect. The FBI has added $50,000 to that reward. President Biden says his team is, quote, closely monitoring the situation in Syria after Syrian rebels took over the capital city of Damascus yesterday. President Bashar al-Assad has reportedly fled the area, but has not been heard from or seen since the attack started. Syria's prime minister says his government is willing to cooperate with any leadership the people choose. If the president is removed from power, it would effectively end more than 50 years of autocratic rule. The ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hezbollah could soon fall apart. Both sides are accusing each other of violating the agreement that was just made last week. Israeli strikes killed at least 10 people in 2 Lebanese villages earlier this week. Those strikes were a response to an earlier attack on the Israeli military by Hezbollah. The Israeli defense minister has warned that country could target the entire Lebanese state if the ceasefire deal collapses. 2 weeks ago, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli and Hamas leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We asked a DU International Studies professor for context on the subject during our 9 News Plus show, The Culture Report. Take a listen.
It's part of the pressures and it's part of the context of this agreement, the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon. But again, for Hamas, it's much more complicated, unfortunately. I guess, at least as far as President Biden remaining days in power, there will be nothing really new. Everyone is waiting for President Trump to be officially in office January 20.
You can stream the full episode of The Culture Report right now on 9 News Plus. President-elect Donald Trump will work together with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and French President Emmanuel Macron to figure out ways to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. The three met yesterday during Trump's visit to Paris. President Zelensky said the meeting was, quote, good and productive. He and other European leaders have been concerned that Trump would withdraw U.S. military aid when he takes office next month. This was Trump's first visit overseas since winning back the White House. President Biden is trying to make one last push to help Ukraine before Trump takes office. Yesterday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced the U.S. will send $1 billion in additional aid to the country. Austin says the package will give Ukraine more drones, rockets, and support for crucial repairs. The U.S. has sent more than $62 billion in aid to Ukraine since February of 2022. More than a decade after losing her son in combat, a Colorado mother keeps turning her grief into giving. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel shows us how a message from that fallen soldier is now helping hundreds of Colorado veterans get a gift this holiday season.
It's just cheery.
Christmas decorations can be a source of pride.
Yeah, if I could buy Christmas tree toilet paper, I would.
For Angie Carver, the green and red is an obsession in her evergreen apartment.
Oh, I haven't even started with my garland and lights.
But there's one shelf she is careful not to cover.
Here's Ross.
A shelf devoted to her son Ross.
The holidays are really hard. It's really hard not to think, okay, what am I going to get Ross for Christmas?
14 years ago, Lance Corporal Ross Carver was shot and killed in Afghanistan. Not a day goes by where Angie doesn't look at his picture.
I keep it by my bed, and like every morning I wake up and kiss it.
But Ross's mission on Earth is far from over, thanks to a message Angie says he sent her 3 years after his death.
I had plans the next day to take a friend of mine to the old VA hospital, and for some reason I just heard Ross's voice say, "Mom, just wrap it."
Angie started grabbing things and wrapping them up to give away at the VA the next morning.
And I just started handing them out to people in the waiting room and people behind the desk if they were veterans. And then from us pulling a wagon and bags of 4 people to now we have a full-size box truck hauling the presents to the hospital for us.
Last year, Angie handed out more than 600 presents.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And then there's some that says, thank you, this will be the only present I have this year. So I'll turn around and go, here, have another one.
Angie doesn't want any presents for herself this year.
No, I bought me a pair of socks. I got them wrapped.
Instead, her only wish is to help Ross continue to serve others.
Oh, I know he's loving it. I know he's loving it. He's like, every year I feel him say, you go, Mom, you go.
In Evergreen,
yeah.
Evan Krugel,
every year.
9 News.
Wow. Ross's Presents for Veterans will have its annual gift wrapping party in Evergreen at the Elks Lodge on December 16th. If you'd like to get involved, we have more information on our website, 9news.com.